So I'm going to be doing a small guide on how to fix the controller drift on Switch controllers. The requirements, of course, you need Switch controllers. You need some cardboard, preferably not super thick, just standard cardboard. And you would need I think that this size of Phillips. I usually call them double pluses for small ones. And then you need this one, of course, is a bit smudged off, but it's a 00Y screwdriver. Both magnetic, so it helps me not lose my screws. And then I have this, but this is just to help open it up. It's optional. Okay. To show that these controllers have drift, I'm going to go into the calibration and see if this is the left controller, the blue one. As you can see, I'm actually not touching it right now, and the Joy-Con is sensing movement, so that's meaning it's drifting and needs to be fixed. Now, I have noticed someone that did their own video of this. They realized if you put a lot of pressure onto the controller, so squeezing on it, it actually perfectly goes back to normal. Unsqueeze and starts drifting again. So that right there is the proof that we need to know how to fix it. So in other words, you need to add more pressure to the controller. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and open up the blue Switch controller. As you can see, it has Y screws, 4 of them to be precise. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. Okay, so now I have the 4 screws removed, and you can just pop it open. Sometimes I have trouble because I have no fingernails. So if you're having trouble, you need to find something to pry it open. There's multiple things you can use. I like to use simple guitar pick because then it can easily just wedge itself in there. If I can get it. Gamma. There we go. And then I just push up a little. If it sticks, don't force it because you might break something. But it is now lifted up on one side. And there we go. It just pops right off. So these things that are attached, it's fine if it comes undone because they can be reattached, but I advise not to do it because if you manage to mess something up in here, the Switch controller won't work as best as it can. So advise just being gentle. Next, we need to remove this battery. Now the battery is glued down, so it will seem like it's stuck on there, but it's just, this is where this tool comes in handy. You just have to get underneath it, pry it up. Oh, this one's glued straight up. It came right off. Okay, move the battery. So now what we see is the battery tray, and this metal piece right here is actually right behind the analog stick, and that's where we need to get to. So we have to remove this blue tray. As you look closely, there are 5 screws you have to remove. There's the simple 4, and there's the 5th one down in this corner. Okay, so I took out the screws, but I'm confused. 2 of the screws are missing. I'm blurry. Come on, camera, focus up, please. So this screw and this one up here were missing. I don't know why there's missing screws in here. Maybe I'm not the first one to open this up. Oh well. But I highly advise to keeping these screws separate because they are different sizes. Of course, different types of screws, but the size difference is highly important to keep them separated. Wonder what happened to the other two screws though. Oh well. Well, now we have sight of the motherboard and all of the simple wiring. It's so blurry, I'm trying to focus. See, this shiny box area is what we need to see entirely. This is the analog stick control box. And this is where we're going to stick something behind it to add pressure. So we just need to cut out a piece of cardboard that is about the same size. If it's slightly bigger, it's fine. Slightly smaller, it's okay. But you just want added pressure behind the analog stick. So cut out a piece of cardboard that will fit this shape. Okay, I cut a piece of cardboard. Let's go ahead and see if I get enough size. And it seems to fit just right. Now, keep in mind when you add pressure to cardboard, it will slightly compress. So it seems a little thick, but it should work perfectly good. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this. I hear a screw in there. Oh, I see a loose screw. I found one of the missing screws. There you are. Huh. I wonder if this is the controller I tried to fix for a friend. Because I remember losing one of the screws on that. It might be the same controller. That's funny. That's really funny. Okay. So make sure when you're putting it back on that it's perfectly on top of the cardboard. And go ahead and push down a little bit on it just to give it good compression. But if it doesn't go right in, you might have to do some fixing. Come on. I might have to. Oh no. Come on. Maybe this cardboard's a little too thick. Maybe not. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna have to hold it down while I get the screws in. At least a couple of them. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, this is good footage. Dark and blurry. Perfect. Okay. Now, cardboard isn't the only option you have. On my controllers I used stacked up postcard, like note cards basically, like made multiple cuts of it and taped it, and it worked. As long as you're gentle with your controller, should go back to about normal. Now it also might be looking like it's popping out like my red controller. So I see it has like a bump to it, but it still works perfectly fine, so I'm okay with it. That one might not have been my fault though. That one I had someone help me with, but it probably is my fault knowing my luck. Come on. Does this screw not go there? There we go. Okay. Let's go on and get the... See, it is sticking up slightly high. That should be fine, actually. Battery's back in its place. Okay, let's go ahead and close you up. Damn. Restart. There we go. See, is don't if you have pressure on one side, don't force it. Just try to slightly push it and see if it goes in by itself. Which I'm doing here. Okay. Now I need to get the other screws in. Ah, shoot. Once you got the screw started, don't push all the way in. No, that went slightly further than I liked, but well. Because you can do slightly faster and then get the other screw in. And that way you don't have might not have a bulge like the other one I fixed. I definitely have to edit out some of this because it's supposed to be a short tutorial and it's already 12 minutes long. Granted, some of it's funny, it's comedy. Ah! Just like that. Yeah, it's in. Oh, I have some dead skin on my finger. Okay. Now I'm just making sure all the screws are properly fashioned. Okay. Pushing down on buttons to make sure they'll click. Yeah, they all seem to work. So now what I'm going to do is let's get over to the switch. Okay. Now let's calibrate the controller. If it will let me. There we go. And ooh, there's still slight drift. Just slight drift though. Yeah. I didn't do a perfect job, but it's better than it was. Let's see if you probably could fix it with a calibration. Yeah, let's see what happens if I calibrate. There we go. I think I did a really good job this time. Oh, I need to get that screw fully in. I just realized one of my screws isn't fully in. But yeah, it works. Now I have to do the other controller. The only difference between the left and right controller is the layout of the screws. The red controller does have a different layout of screws, but it's nothing much. You can see where they're at. I'll show once I have it opened up. Okay, so here's the red controller, the right hand controller. And you can see that the tray is slightly different, where the analog box is further down rather than closer to the bumper button. And there's a lot less screws. I think there's only 3 of them. There's same corner one down here. Battery's trying to hide it. Then there's 2, one here and one right behind the bumper here.